Success isn't solo. Why the right people elevate you. You don't rise alone. We all want to be successful, but here's the truth. No one does it alone. And unfortunately, the media, they glorify these stories about the self-made person who had no help, who dealt with all these obstacles and was able to accomplish this amazing goal. By the way, always overnight. Well, none of that is true, right? People spend years and years working on things and then we realize it overnight. So it seems like an overnight success, but it's generally years of habits and preparation and hard work. The other thing it's never this person in isolation. It's a person who has other people supporting, inspiring, motivating, providing guidance, value, and helping them in all sorts of different aspects because we just don't rise alone. So you think about this, again, it's so easy to glorify the individual, but we wear it a badge of honor that we don't need help or we can do things on our own. But that's just not the case. They always have this saying that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others. And oftentimes to reach our goals, we have to go far. Therefore, we always need other people involved. Now, talent matters, right? We all have to be talented, right? We have got to develop skills. We've got to work hard. We've got to maximize our own abilities. But the team behind you, that's the game changer.
Welcome to my video. I actually love the people in my life. Without the people in my life, I could not do anything. In this video, we recorded deep in the house. People can help you. My buddy could show you how. Take it away, Chris.
Who's in your corner? Imagine pitching your dream to somebody, the idea that you had, and then being laughed at. You'd probably be discouraged, right? You'd feel terrible. But imagine pitching it and having somebody say, you know what, let's build that together. You would be motivated and inspired, right? And that's what we're talking about. The first one is the lonely scenario. The second one is finding the right people to support you and working with others to accomplish something. But oftentimes, when we see success, we don't see it as an individual. We see it as a partnership or teamwork. You know, Sourena is a big sports fan. The NFL is one of his favorite sports and football. And when you look at the greatest dynasty in the history of football, who was it? It was the New England Patriots. And who was that defined by? Not just by Tom Brady, not just by Bill Belichick, but everybody talks about Brady and Belichick. When you see a brand like Apple, one of the greatest tech successes, leader in their space, just this incredible brand that is just nonstop and always growing, it was Jobs and Wozniak, right? Because powerful partnerships matter, right? It's never one individual. Even though it may look like a figurehead or a CEO or somebody that stands out as spokesperson, it's always a teamwork and not just two people, generally a ton of people supporting them as well. But again, when you have encouragement from others and tangible support, that's going to turn your potential into power. The hidden team behind your wins. You didn't build the roads to your office, did you? Of course not. There's a team out there that built these roads that allow you to get to your office. But you want to talk about how we rely on these invisible hands every single day, right? From the front office to warehouses to city workers to other people in our lives. The truth is, even when we don't see it, we're being elevated by other people. So why does Sourena want you to know this? Well, because right now we're talking about how you got to go out there and actively seek people and find people to be on your team and to work with and to encourage and inspire you. But it's also recognizing that, man, people matter because indirectly, things other people are doing are allowing you to be where you're at and do what you do today. So again, it just emphasizes the fact that you're never doing things all in isolation. There's always support, whether it's direct and intentional or indirect and unintentional from all sorts of people. We are social creatures. That's how it works. And it takes a village in order to achieve amazing success. So start taking those moments to acknowledge the unseen value that others bring to your life. Bring value, get value. Success isn't about using other people. And it's important that you understand that. It's about serving and supporting. One thing Sourena talks about all the time are win-win relationships. That's what we're looking for. We've all met those people in our lives who are just out for themselves, and that may get them to a certain point, but eventually it collapses when they truly do need support and people realize, well, they don't offer support. They don't offer a win-win relationship. They just use others. That's not what we're talking about having the right people around you, right? And having other people help you rise. You help them rise as well. right? Sourena is so big on the win-win relationships. So always think about what values you bring to others, not just what they bring to you, right? So Brady's worth was in the values he created for the fans, sponsors, and the team, right? Brady didn't necessarily earn his money by being a good quarterback, although that was part of it. But it was the value he brought in the entertainment and the jerseys and everything he did to support communities and make people have a great time, spend time together, friends and family watching this. His value was in selling NFL tickets, merchandise, billion-dollar TV deals, etc. Without being able to throw the football, those wouldn't have happened though. So you see how that's a combination. But again, relationships must be mutually beneficial, never one-sided. And by the way, it's also more fun that way. Communicate, appreciate, and reciprocate. That's where this all ties together. People can't help you if they don't know what you need. Speak up. Ask for help. Again, some people wear it as a badge of honor to never ask for help, but it's the people that truly ask for help when they need it that are going to be the most successful. So when you have a challenge and you can't figure out how to deal with it, ask for help. When you're stuck, ask for help. When you're feeling unmotivated, ask for help. That shows real courage and real strength are people that are willing to ask for help. Communicate that. And then set clear expectations and boundaries in those relationships, both personal and professional, right? We all have people in our personal life and professional life that walk all over our boundaries. Well, speak up. Make sure you set those boundaries, right? And then appreciate. Gratitude is so powerful. And again, gratitude sometimes, Sourena talks about this quite often, it can seem superfluous, right? We all, for those that have kids, you're always telling your children, make sure you say thanks, say thanks, say thanks. And your kids are like, thanks, thanks, thanks. They don't necessarily at the time mean it, but you're still conditioning them to say that. And eventually someday they will recognize that it is impactful. But when you look at data and research on gratitude, everything improves when people are more grateful. Those people that express gratitude and understand gratitude and appreciate gratitude, all of that, those are the people that are the most productive, the happiest, better relationships, better communication skills, higher levels of optimism. All those are scientifically based. So gratitude is not just a surface level woo-woo kind of concept that's nebulous. It's very, very powerful. So we need to be intentional about how we learn to appreciate gratitude, express gratitude and appreciation at all times. And then, finally also reciprocate. Again, it's always about giving back, not just what you can take, but what you can give. And that give-take relationship that goes back and forth creates a win-win. That's going to be absolutely amazing. At the end of the day, communicate, appreciate, and reciprocate. That's a magic formula as you're creating this support system of people around you so that we can all rise together. The mindset shift that changes everything. From the perspective of being disabled and entrepreneurial, Sourena has extreme appreciation and value for those others in his life, right? Because a lot of what Sourena does relies on a support system of people. And one of Sorena's biggest hurdles back in the day was being afraid to ask. He didn't have the strength and courage to ask for the support he needed. So he thought his issues were one thing, but when it all came down to it, it was just him asking for help and going after what he needed. When Sourena and I met, it was really interesting. I had no idea at the time what Sourena did. At the time, I owned and operated a health club, and Sourena asked me, hey, and we had built a relationship, and I'd gotten to know Sourena, and we sort of just hit it off. And Sourena said, hey, would you ever be interested in speaking, being a keynote speaker? And I said, well, I never really thought of that. And he said, I think you'd be great at it, and I'm looking for a partner, someone to bring my words to life. Because of Sorena's disability, his speech is heavily impaired. So I'm able to understand Sourena, translate his message, and share it to audiences like you to have a profound impact and help you achieve your goals, right? But it was all Sorena's mind shift of all of a sudden understanding, hey, I'm disabled. I want to be entrepreneurial. And in order to do this, I need the right tools, and that includes the right people. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to go after it. I've never met anyone like Sourena with that sort of drive. Sorena's the type of person that builds win-win relationships all the time. The first time we ever went to a conference, we listened to the speaker. It was great, took notes, learned some things. I got ready to leave. He's like, where are you going? I was like, well, it's over. He's like, it's never over. He's like, we're going to go meet the speaker. We're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to build a relationship. We're going to see how we can help them. So we went there, and Sorena's built relationships with some of the top speakers and authors in the personal development, professional development industry. And it just blows my mind. But that's Sorena's drive and that mindset shift of asking for support and building the right sort of support network, right? So when you're doing this, you do want to think about, though, again, it's not just about what you can get. What are you going to give back? Think about what you can give back to those who support you. And remember, what you give out, you always get back. That's how we remain positive. Real talk. Relationship truths to live by, right? We are social creatures. That's what makes human beings so special. And no one truly thrives as a lone wolf. It's crucial to create other relationships, to learn from others, to receive validation, motivation, inspiration, feedback, and social cues from others, whether we want to admit it or not. Again, there are no lone wolves. We are social. We are tribal creatures. We also had a real talk that emotions drive us, right? We often think of people as like conning and calculating, but most of the time, people are too busy dealing with their own lives than to worry about yours, right? Others will generally think about you only when they have to, not because they're scheming. And that's part of that social aspect. And a handful of the right people can make you absolutely amazing. A few key people can help you achieve all the goals that you never thought were possible, right? They're not going to do all the work, but they're going to add to what you already do. That's still up to you, right? At the end of the day, it still is up to you, but it's up to you in conjunction with the right people. Nevertheless, getting help from a psychologist or a business coach or mentor can take you to the next level. We need these other people, right? People aren't there to be drained, though, right? It's not about just sucking everything out of them that we can get and moving on. While other people are surely willing to help us, they expect something in return. And maybe it's subconsciously expecting it, but at least, gratitude, money, support, reciprocity, skills they don't have that you can offer, right? But whatever happens, acknowledge those that serve you, right? Service is key. Zig Ziglar once said, if you help people get what they want, then you're going to get what you want. That's just the secret of the universe, right? But influence matters. Successful people always inspires others to pursue their goals. As a parent myself and Sourena as a parent, we hope to influence our children to think beyond their life circumstances, take personal responsibility for what they want, and also build a supportive culture of people around him. And we want to be those people for our children. In business, Sourena influences his team to execute his mission, right? But influence is about seeing others who can influence you and inspire you as well. Again, it's always a two-way street. Always strive for a win-win situation. But professional networks are absolutely crucial for growth. Good managers are hard to come by. So when you find a great mentor or a boss, hold on to them, right? Hold on to them. Communicate, appreciate, reciprocate. That's excellent advice for young people starting out in a career too. But even for those veterans who have been doing this for a while, you often need this reminder. But a good manager can provide guidance and open doors that you might not have been able to locate on your own, right? Personal influence is just as important as professional influence. You should aim to be the one to hold your friends accountable for their actions and have them hold you accountable. Because if not you, then who? You don't get to the top alone. You also don't stay there without the support of others.